Hi, this is Pat McGibbon, Vice President of Strategic Information and Research with AMT, and my friend Richard Aboulafia from the Teal Group. And we're here in St. Louis where the World Series is not happening this week. It's end of October, forecasting conference, and Richard's speaking to a group of us here today. I'm just going to get a chance here to ask him some questions off the stage that the whole membership and our friends in the IMTS world will be interested in hearing about. Richard, let's start with the fiscal cliff. There's a lot of defense contractors and aerospace companies who've already had to tell some of their staff that they may be finding themselves getting a pink slip within 60 days because the deadline on 23rd. Let's say that instead of it happening or them solving it, they go with what is now the common thought about the process, that this Congress will punt and vote in a 9-month continuance going out to September. How's that going to affect the defense contractors and the aerospace companies that are relying on government contracts to keep their people employed and moving forward with product?
Well, it's a glass half empty, glass half full thing, of course. No one wants a continuing resolution unless, of course, the alternative is the sequestration process. Nobody wants that at all. We've had to live before with continuing resolutions. It complicates things, especially for new programs that need care and feeding at the initial stage of their ramp-up. There are very few new programs that really need that sort of attention, so steady-state funding would not be the end of the world. There would also be a kind of relief that if we can put it off for another 6 or 9 or whatever months, then maybe we can deal with this ridiculous dead man switch.
Oh. Well, one of the things that we've seen looking at our members and where their orders have been coming from is that the 787 being moved to Charleston, South Carolina for assembly and production has created a nice cluster of aerospace companies who tend to have a different type of product mix than what we usually sell into the Southeast. Now that cluster, is it homegrown? Has Boeing forced their vendors and suppliers to move operations to that part of the world?
Well, it's a complicated picture with the 787, partly because it's kind of a virtual manufacturing facility. So much of the product has been outsourced that you're really seeing all the big chunks and pieces come from other places, most notably Japan, Italy, Wichita, and wherever else. What they're doing in Charleston is putting together one of the versions, the Dash 9 version, as well as some of the Dash 8s. We're not really sure what the ultimate mix will be that's built there. But inevitably, around any kind of new production facility, you're going to have something that does generate organically, just because of the logistics of it all, and just because, frankly, the American South is a really good place to do business from a manufacturing standpoint. I think we see this across the board in many industries. So I guess you could call this organic, but it's easy to overstate it when so much of the composition of this jet is actually coming from other places.
Okay. Just to demonstrate, I do watch you on TV occasionally. You've said just in the last 3 to 4 months that the rotary aircraft part of the industry is one of the ones that's most exciting, has the best opportunities regardless of what happens with federal funding. Are you still feeling positive about that part of the aerospace market?
There's absolutely still some strong drivers in place. One is the need for fleet recapitalization because of all the helicopters that have been badly damaged in Iraq and Afghanistan. That's going to continue for another 4 or 5 years at least, with big programs going full throttle, like the Black Hawk Mike program, UH-60M, the V-22, the CH-47F, the Apache Block 3, a bunch of these doing really well. The other big driver is, of course, the very high price of oil and gas that has necessitated a significant expansion of fleets that are involved in that, especially the large helicopters such as the Super Puma S-92, products like that from Eurocopter and Sikorsky, as well as Augusta Westland's product range. Everyone's eager to get into the oil and gas biz because there's a lot of cash coming in there.
Now, taking a look at the aerospace markets and industry over the globe, and then more specifically about the United States, are you bullish or bearish about where things are going from here out to 2014?
Reasonably bullish. You look at the jetliner business, it's heavily driven by 2 factors. One is high fuel prices that increase the need to re-equip with newer jets. The other is the arrival of a lot of cash, and that's because people can get it cheap, and that's not going to change through 2014, and people have nowhere else to park it, and that's not going to change through 2014. And as a result, financing deliveries to the carriers who need these jets to replace older, less efficient jets, those drivers are still with us. So the ramp-up's going to continue through 2014.
Any final insights you want to share with us maybe some of the comments you're about to share with the 238 members that you'll be posing questions to you in about half an hour. Any final insights?
Well, my limited knowledge of the world heavily for the past 25 years has been aerospace,
Yes.
but from what I can tell, this is the healthiest part of the world economy. I don't think anything is going to change that. I almost feel like we're overdue for a bit of karmic justice because we're the one industry that really powered through the world economic downturn. But nevertheless, you look at it, if we get through this, and I think we will, then we're the industry that was protected from the worst storm ever, and we still have good potential for long-term growth.
Well, that wraps it up from here, St. Louis, Missouri, Global Forecasting Conference with my friend Richard Aboulafia and myself, Pat McGibbon. See you next time.
Rethink, refocus, reinvent, redefine convention. At the MFG meeting, discuss what matters most to our industry. Listen to speakers that educate and inform. Learn techniques to improve business practices. Experience networking opportunities like no other. It all happens at the MFG meeting, March 5th through 8th, 2013, in Waikoloa, Hawaii. The MFG meeting is brought to you by NTMA, PMA, and AMT. For more information, visit themfgmeeting.com.